Today I am going to try and make some mini gift bags that can be used to hold items for like a goodie bag type thing, and I'm going to make it for non-fall items, but I am going to use this pumpkin spice fall paper pad. Hey guys, it's Beth, welcome. So today I am going to attempt to make some small bags, gift bags, to use as holders for my little Get Well gift packs. So if you saw my Bringing Back Basic Gray collaboration video, I shared how that I had made these holders using a silhouette file, and I cut them with my silhouette, and they're just these cute little mug shape. They've got a handle, but they weren't quite big enough. So I could totally go in and resize this file and do it again on my silhouette, but I thought, since not all of you have silhouettes, I would try and come up with another option for you that doesn't require a die or a digital cutting machine. So looking through my pens, I found this gift bag tutorial. There's no video anymore. It's like the link kind of just dies. It's not a valid link anymore. But it was made using 2 pieces of 6x6, and then they scored it at 1.5 inches on 3 sides. So that means it's 1.5 inches deep, and then it would be, just to show you that it's a dead link, that it would be 3 inches across and then 1.5 inches like deep. So I'm not sure that's going to be big enough. So what I think I'm going to do is take 2 sheets of 12x12 and cut them down to 8x8. And then if I score it, I'm trying to think, if I go 4.5 inches across, I wanted to pull out the soup. It's the biggest thing in my packet. Chicken noodle soup. So it is almost 4.5 inches, but if you fold it, it could be 4 inches. So then would 1.5 inches be deep enough? That's about what this is. So I think I might do 2 inches on both sides. So I'm sharing my whole thought process and planning process with you here. So it's a little bit sketchy, a little bit scary. Hopefully you can follow. So I'm going to take an 8x8 sheet of paper and score it at 2 inches on 3 sides. And I'm not sure, this top score that they show was really so that you could have the inside pattern folding down on the outside. I don't have double-sided, so I chose this blue plaid just because I thought it'd be like a masculine option for the Get Well packs, but it's white, so it might not look too bad against the blue. But if I went with, say, a floral, like I was originally going to do this pattern, but I don't have enough to do, unless I dig into my second pad, I might be able to do it. But this with the white doesn't really work for me. So, but I might be able to do it with this one to fold it over just to see. So we're going to give this a shot. So I'm going to start by cutting my 2 pieces of 12x12 down to 8x8. And if this works, there will be a blog post with some step-by-step instructions for you. If it doesn't work, this video is all you're going to get, and you can learn from my mistakes. So let's go 8x8. And then 8x8 again. Okay, put the trimmer to the side. Get the scoreboard out. So again, I am going to do 2 inches on 3 sides. So 2, and then come over to 6 inches. So 2 and 6 inches. And then it doesn't really matter which way I turn it. I'm going to do 2 inches for the bottom. And then I may go ahead and do 1 inch at the top so that I can fold it over like against the navy. I don't think that looks too bad. So that is our first one. And I think I'm going to fold this one up since I'm just trying it. I'm going to fold it up and kind of make sure that this is what I want before I score the second one. Okay, and then I know I at least need to cut these tabs down here on the bottom this way based on just gift bags and boxes that I've made in the past, just so that they will fold. So then it would look like that. This gets folded over like this. And do I want it to fold that way? Okay, so here is my basic box. Can I fit my soup in there? Yes, soup fits. And it's actually almost a little too tall, but I would rather have it too tall. I can always come down on size if I make more, but this will be the basic form. So I will go ahead and score my next one. Again, we go score at 2 and 6. Now, if you have directional paper, pay attention to that. Mine doesn't matter. It's non-directional. But if you have directional paper, you need to make sure that you're scoring your 2-inch score, like 2 of the sides, so that your paper's, like your pattern's going this way, so that when you turn it and score your bottom, your pattern's going to be facing up the correct way. So score at 2 again for the bottom. Then I'm going to turn it and score at 1 inch from the top. Put this puppy away. And we'll fold this guy up. I almost need to fold this down first. And I may end up cutting these guys off and just sticking them inside the other. We'll see if that makes any sense. Okay, so since I left these tabs on, I think I'm going to take these 2 squares off because it might be too bulky there at the bottom with both tabs. And again, if this had the tutorial with it, it may have told me that. But again, I'm just trying to go based off of other bags and boxes that I have made. So I'm going to take this last square off. And then I think I want to take these off too. Because again, I feel like that's going to add bulk at the top. That's just going to be folded in and hidden anyway. I may need to cut that little ridge off though. Okay, cut this other one off. Okay, now let's see if we can get this puppy together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to the tab, the patterned side of my tab here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do both sides at one time. That will be easier. So fold them up so that they kind of create a right angle with the sides of this half of the bag. And I'm just going to press on them for a little bit and then turn it on its side and burnish with my bone folder just to get a good hold. You could use the double-sided score tape for this if you want. I would use something more than ATG. I just don't trust ATG to hold like 3D things like this together, especially if it's going to be handled a lot. And I think I want to, I can always come back and glue that. I'll say I was debating about gluing this flap down, but we'll see. So now I can take this and slide it right inside, maybe. Slide it right inside there. So I will start by adding glue. Again, keep in mind, this is trial and error. It's something I'm trying for the first time with you guys. But I want to push it in as far as it will go and then burnish it down. So it doesn't necessarily have to stay standing up as long as it's in as far as it will go. I can burnish that. And then I need to get the sides folded in, and I may need to trim them down. Why is it that even though you cut things the same size and score them the same way, there's always a difference? The other side is fine. So I'm going to see if it helps to trim just a hair off this side to see if it will go in further. Yes, that's better. And I'm going to, again, you guys may do a much better job than me at getting things cut. We're just going to trim a little bit off this top because it's going to be easier to cut it now than it is when it's put together. Okay. There we go. That is what I wanted to see. There's no blue showing at the top of either side anymore. Now I can add my glue to the side flaps. And I want it at the outer edge for sure. And then fold those in here. And then I'm going to lay it down and burnish it again. Burnishing tends to make all the difference for me, because it helps the glue, especially the wet glue, secure faster, and it helps the dry adhesive, like your score tapes, to hold stronger. And I may have to add a little bit more on that side, but especially at the top, because it's that extra flap on the outside. I'm just wanting to pull it down a little bit. Okay, so then I don't know that I need to glue these down, but we might. But I am going to have to glue this back side down. And if I'm gluing the back one down, I probably might as well go ahead and glue the other ones down. Just because this guy is not going to stay. And I'm not worried so much about getting like a full coverage on this flap. I just kind of want to make sure it will stay flush with the side of the bag to be consistent with the bag. Okay, here's our bag. So you could add like a handle here if you wanted. I don't know if I am, because again, I didn't necessarily need it to be a bag. I just wanted it to be a container to hold my stuff. So I'm going to let this dry and kind of stuff it. Once it's dry, we'll put all of my Get Well goodies in there and then see if I think it needs a handle. Like, I will decorate the front at some point, but again, I just kind of want to make sure it's going to fit first. So I'm going to let this dry for a bit and then we'll come back and stuff it. Okay, so it's had some time to dry. Now we're going to go ahead and stuff it and see if everything fits. And I just dumped everything out of this one, and because we're just trying to test the size. So I'm going to start with the soup because it is the biggest, and then we'll stuff everything else in. Okay, so it all fits. That's good. That's good. And I might even be able to fit the cough drops. If you watched the Bringing Back Basic Gray video, I talked about how I had actually forgotten to get some cough drops. I usually get the little bags of cough drops from the Dollar Tree and add. They wouldn't have fit in this one anyway, but I think that they would fit in here. So now I can decide if I want to add a handle. I think it looks okay without, especially once I add, my decoration to the front here. But I did cut a 1 by 8 inch piece. It was just off the scraps that I had of this blue, just to see, kind of try out what it would look like. And I think I would tuck it in kind of on the inside and glue it on the inside of the bag. So here's kind of a preview of what it would look like. And actually, I don't think it looks bad. I don't think I need it, but I think it does add a little bit of something. So let's dump everything back out. And then we will add some glue. Now this would be good if I had my clothespins or my little clips over here. But I don't. So we're going to hold it. Okay. Actually, I could burnish it. One side done. And honestly, if you wanted to add a little bit more detail to the bag, you could use brads or eyelets or something to help hold these on. But I'm just going to use glue. It's more for decoration. Now, hopefully I can still stuff everything in there with the handle on. Hopefully I didn't just ruin that. Okay, so I can still stuff it all in. I don't know that I will put a handle on any other ones that I make. I just kind of wanted to try that out, and I think it's fine. So what I will probably do, I'm going to decorate it, and then I may see if I can find some other patterns that I could use to make some more of these. Otherwise, this may just be the only one like this, but I will decorate it, kind of find some things to decorate it with, and then come back. Okay, I have some decorations for this first bag, and I actually did make a second bag off camera, and I made this one just a little different in the height. So it ended up being 8 by 6 inches, and then I kept the scoring the same. but then it was just a little bit shorter. And I like that. I just like having some of the sticking out the top because you can more easily see what's inside. Some people may like the taller one where you can't see it. Everybody has their own preference. So I have a Get Well Soon sentiment that I had printed last year. I had it left from when I did my Get Well gift packs last year. So I just punched it out with a 2-inch circle, and then I did a 2 1/4-inch scalloped circle of this pattern, and decided to do that behind it. And then I also used a little strip I had left of that same like light blue pattern, and thought I would use the white side just to kind of help it pop out since I'm using like a blue on blue. So I thought I would fishtail this little white strip. Okay, so it would end up looking, well, not exactly like that, hopefully a little straighter. But I'm going to add my glue to my circle and go ahead and get it on my scallop. Bring my bone folder in, burnish that down. And I'm actually going to leave everything in here because it makes it a little bit easier to go ahead and glue this stuff on. It gives it, like, it doesn't dip in quite as far as like this one will. So I'll try and center my strip, eyeballing it. And then we'll glue the scallop circle in. Try and burnish this a little bit on the inside. Push it down, and we'll just let that sit. So this one, I think we'll take that out so I can go ahead and burnish it. So this one, I just took one of the Get Well Soons that I had printed to go with the basic gray ones because these were kind of like a off-white as well. So I thought it would work with the fall patterns. And then it took the same blue plaid, kind of a fancy label square, I guess, die for this Get Well Soon, and so I just went to the next size up, which is actually the biggest size. Okay, so here is this one, and I'm not going to add a handle on this one since it's going to be taller. I'm just going to leave it as is. And then I will I have bags that fit over like most of these. So this one, I may put all the goodies in the bag and then stick the bag inside here, like the clear cellophane bag. Should preface that. This one, I don't know, I may be able to fit the whole thing in the cellophane bag. I'll have to play with that, but they're like 4. These are what I use. The clear treat bags. They're 5 by 11 inches. I think I got these from Walmart, maybe. I know I've also picked them up before at Michael's, but everything fits in here, and in some cases I can fit the whole holder and all the goodies in, or in this case I may just do the goodies in the clear bag and stick them in there. So that is how I'm going to handle those. Oh, one last thing that I do for these. These I should have enough paper that I can just do the 3x3 note cards. So I would take 3, I would cut it down to 3x6, and this one's actually already trimmed down to 3 So we'll do this one at 3. And then trim down to 6. And then what I'll do is I'll just fold them in half. And so now there's a little note card that goes with the goodies that people can like tuck in and write a little note or, you know, sign it, whatever they want to do. Okay, so we have 2 treat holders and 2 coordinating little mini note cards. And you could use these for anything. I mean, you can use them as mini gift bags. I think it was Stampin' Cat, who's Kathy, she suggested doing a nail, like manicure set. So you would do the nail polish, the some remover pads, nail files, like anything that you would normally use for a manicure. You could do a pedicure set, things like that. You could do a self-care packet and do some lotion and a face mask and some cleanser or something like that. You know, you could do all kinds of things with this if you wanted to create some little gift packs to gift at the holidays or whatever. And you can use any paper. I just wanted to try and utilize the fall paper for something that wasn't fall to do something different, and then playing with some different options on how to package my Get Well gift pack. So thank you guys for sticking with me as I trial and errored this process. Hopefully you guys could follow it. There will be a blog post that will be linked down below that has all the measurements and the scoring lines for you and everything. So if you didn't write it down, you can always rewind and watch it again, or you can check the link in the description box below with the blog post that will have that information for you. But thank you guys so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.